Well, this might be a first. Didn't make it out of the driveway without the bumper falling off. Oh yeah, she's rusty.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Full Blast Garage. On this one, we're gonna take the world's worst Buick Regal Turbo-T that we bought from a fellow YouTuber, put this thing back on the road for the first time in at least a decade, and we're gonna make it to a drag strip, run the quarter, see what this thing still has in it, and make it home. And that's gonna be at least 300-mile trip. So y'all stick around, see what we gotta do to this thing to make it roadworthy one more time. Just go out, do something that makes you happy, but make sure you're doing it on full blast. Well, you guys might have heard it in there. I said that I bought this from a fellow YouTuber, and I did. That was the first time in my life, at least my YouTube career, that I've bought something from a fellow creator. And if you guys haven't checked out Fixin Rusty, go over to his channel, check out some of his videos. You're probably gonna like what you see. Dude's a really good guy. So he started this project, very limited parts, kind of like just whatever he could get from the auto parts, what they had in stock, put it on there, see if he could get it running. And he wanted to drive it from Houston to San Antonio, essentially, like 200 miles. He wanted to get it home. The car made it about 30 before he tapped out. You know, it was too sketchy. The one thing with these Buick turbos, they have this really weird braking system, and we're gonna delete all that. So we're gonna fix that problem that he had. And then I got just really the stuff to do kind of like a minor tune-up to it. So it does start, it just runs really bad. And I think if we can kind of just clean up some sensors, some spark plugs, wires. I didn't buy coils. I didn't buy ignition control module. I'm hoping, you know, since they are firing, there's some life left. And a lot of times with these old cars, you're better off just leaving what's there than buying the new stuff. So let's get this thing in the air, because I got one thing, at least one thing. I'm gonna see if I can find the location of the O2 sensor on this car. It's got aftermarket exhaust, and I don't know if they deleted it or what, but I'm gonna look for it, because we're gonna do O2 sensor, fuel filter. Fuel smells a little varnishy. You know, it's probably a safe bet just to go ahead and try and replace it. But let's get it up in the air. You guys can kind of see the underneath of this thing. It's not awful underneath. It's better than it is on the outside, but yeah, it's a rough one, that's for sure. Going up. Give you guys a view of the passenger side that has some of the better rust. A-pillar's gone. All the metal around the T-top's gone. She's pretty much a beaut. Ready for Barrett Jackson. Well, if you want to see what a Regal looks like underneath, it's been stored on a jetty in Galveston. This is what it might look like. So she's pretty rusty. I mean, that's the carpet. But she's all pretty soft. All right here. I mean, nothing we can't glass back together, but right here under these big supports, it's kind of alarming. And again, up here, she's pretty shot. We got a spider where it's It's there. There you go. I don't know. There's stuff living for sure under here. She's 8 out over there towards the rocker. Frame looks solid. Frame's not all, you know, pitted up real bad or anything, just surface rust, but it's got some sort of aftermarket. I think it said Hedman exhaust on it. But I mean, it's all here. That's fine. It's complete. I think the only thing missing on the car is those little bumper filler things on the front. Got another thing, insect just hanging here. Just waiting to scare the crap out of me when it lands on my face. All right, so step one, any of these old cars, like if the fuel pump is still pumping, I would leave it for now. I have a fuel pump and a sender. There's a good chance that thing, it might come around or it might die. It's kind of one or the other. It's not normally gonna just function at like 50%. It might on the way out, but you'll feel it and you'll know it's time to replace it. But I'm gonna get under here, break loose this fuel filter, which is probably easier said than done. You can look at the fittings on each side. There's a chance these guys are gonna want to twist. If that happens, we're probably gonna be in trouble. I've seen guys cut these and add in rubber lines, but still you gotta get a new fitting then, which isn't the worst thing. I think this is like a 3/8 fitting. But nothing's leaking, which is shocking. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my wrenches, get this guy busted loose, and we'll see what we got. Well, say your prayers on this one. We got the 5/8 line wrench, 13/16 backup, and don't recommend hitting the fuel filter with MAP gas. I just hosed her down with some PB Blaster. Oh, that's not bad at all. That was shocking. Okay, that guy's gonna break loose. What about downstream here? Please, please, please. Trying to get a good view on the line. Oh, they both broke loose. We're golden, folks. I'm gonna go grab just a regular open-end box in now to get in there a little bit easier. Run this all the way out, run our new wicks in. And you guys didn't see the shirt. Everything came from O'Reilly. Oh. New filters all installed. Torque down. You might want to just peek your head under the car after you cycle it a few times. Make sure you don't have any leaks. Good practice. And we need to drop the car down, move under the hood. We got MAP sensor, oxygen sensor, idle air control valve, PCV valve, all the plugs and plug wires. I want to go through kind of just a small maintenance. Throttle position sensor, if this thing's still kind of idling weird, that's a normal, you know, just part of the parts cannon you got to shoot at these old 80s GM EFI cars. But hopefully we just had like a sticky idle air control valve, and that'll kind of fix our idle problem. It just idles high. I don't know. And there's not a whole lot of information on the dash on these cars. So let's go ahead, drop her down, get under the hood, start working there. I mean, we're gonna have this thing doing burnouts real quick. I mean, as long as it'll stop, that would be fun. All right, so under here, got my wrench already on the idle air control valve here. I'm not 100% sure this thing's got a relearn procedure or not. I'll have to actually look that up. Oh, she was, hand tight, maybe hand tight. So I broke that guy loose, and if you're wondering, that's 1.25 inches. I mean, you don't necessarily have to smoke these guys on, but I would put them tighter than that. Now, what you want to look for is how black is it down here. This really isn't too bad. Doesn't smell like awful fuel. Our new guy is gonna have to extend out to start regulating. But it's already threaded, or got thread sealant on it. It's ready to go in. Our connector here is kind of in a bad spot. So, get this guy started. It's kind of easier said than done without removing anything. We're just trying to sneak it in here. Got it started. Probably gonna be a little bit challenging to thread with all the thread sealant, but we'll get it on there. And after I get this on here, guys, we're gonna do a start. So what I like to do, especially when I'm working with these fuel injected cars, if it's a runner and I'm changing things, I start it, check that it runs, check how it runs after everything. That way, if you change something like this valve and now your car runs much worse, you can always right then go back to your old part. You don't have to sit there and go through all the different steps, you know, it took to get you where you are now. So I'll get this guy tightened down, and then we'll do a crank on the car, see how it runs. All right, first time you guys get to hear it. Let's see what our start here is like. Prime. Do this a couple times after you do a fuel pump. Oh, wow. No way, this thing is not idling that bad. I think there's a good chance that idle air control valve was bad and not doing anything. This thing was just idling to the moon. Got some turbo noises. Man, I think that fuel filter was bad too. Like, let's check. Oh man, our vacuum line is totally hard here on the fuel pressure regulator. I want to check and see if there's gas coming out of this. Nope. Good indication our regulator's doing what it's supposed to. So let's keep on working on this thing. It's sounding kind of healthy already. One thing we're gonna have to figure out, does the cooling fan ever come on? That would be nice to know. Well, I went ahead and threw a PCV valve in it. That's over there on the passenger side valve cover. So I was unable to locate here's a 3/8 extension that ain't mine. Score. I was unable to locate a map sensor that looks like what I have. And also, I see no O2 sensor in the downpipe. I've read here and there that these cars don't use the map sensor. I kind of don't understand that. If it's a boosted car, that could be totally wrong, but doesn't make sense to me. And the thing that looks like a map sensor might be just a boost control, or they've worked on this car, whoever owned it before, and they've done some tinkering that I don't know. Yeah, guys that run these cars, y'all let me know, because I've had a Typhoon, and that has been the extent of my foray into the Turbo GM world. And it's set up quite a bit different, although there are some similarities. It's a different setup. And it's not a 3.8, it's a 4.3 motor. Man, these guys around the AC here, you ain't got a whole lot of room for wrenching. I was just gonna pull one plug, show you guys what we're working with as far as carbon buildup, dirtiness, whether there is anything left of it, and it's hand tight. Barely had to touch the wrench and it's coming loose. Rusty didn't do plugs on this. This is these plug wires. There's a couple different brands, and I'm sure these plugs are old. We'll know quick if they only got 60 miles on them. All right, brand, let's see. Bosch Platinums. So they're not incredibly old. Platinum plugs hadn't even been around forever, but definitely carboned up. Carboned up, and the tip kind of looks weird. I don't know. I'd say that it was probably due. It's so weird on these. You'd think you'd see like a timing mark where we're running it, but I don't see anything on the strap there. So it's just black. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw plugs, wires on this thing, then we'll crank it again. Every step, guys, crank. Wanna make sure you're not totally messing yourself up when you're trying to do your maintenance here. So I'm gonna get on that and we'll fire this thing back up. And it looks like we're gonna have to clean the air filter too. This thing's gross. All right, let's do another start. I got all the plug wires in, and I did see the PCV hose was just off the throttle body there. So that's a big old vacuum leak, like a 3/8 size vacuum leak. And who knows what. I tried to wire up the alternator. It's kind of weird. It's holding charge, but not actively charging anything. So it's putting out some amps, but not enough to really do anything. So kind of weird. The alternator might be bad out of the box. Let's see if we got any crank. Well, she's running quite a bit smoother. I think that PCV hose being off was messing with the motor quite a bit. Oh, she'll build some boost. Oh yeah. The motor's running quite a bit smoother, so I'm gonna do a couple more things. I'm gonna clean up some grounds, clean up positive cable on the starter, and I think we should probably just rip this thing around. Because before we dive into the brakes, 1230 and not going down. Not ideal, but better than actively dumping down all the time. So yeah, I want to clean up some grounds, clean up positive, get a better cable going to the starter, and drive it. Make sure this thing will drive pretty well before I start tackling this Powermaster thing or whatever it is. I don't even know. Kind of looks like a nightmare. But just one step at a time. I think now's as good a time as any to go ahead and walk you guys around the car. I got the grounds cleaned up. I left the positive alone. It has a kind of special looking attachment on the starter, and to drop the starter, it looks like you got to pull the exhaust. Not interested in that. I mean, look at the holes in this thing, guys. For one thing, like I was going to do the fuel pump, and if the, you know, the trunk was smoked, I would just go through it. But it's not. The trunk is solid. It's the only solid part, really solid part of the whole car. Look at the, this type of rust is just insane for Texas. Like the registration is South Texas, so I don't know. Did they run this thing in Mexico somewhere for a while that was super salty environment down by the coast? And look at this pitting. And front side of this T-top, there's no structure. No structure at all. So she's totally smoked, and I kind of bought it for the drivetrain and because, I mean, it's an 87 Regal with a turbo. Why not? And it's got a little bit of life left in it. It's not dead totally, but we can do something with this. We can either pass it along to someone else that really wants to restore it, or do a drivetrain swap on another Regal. We find an 87, I think they're the similar stuff around those years, and then just take all the drivetrain, everything out, as long as it's good. But, oh God, you got to pull real hard on the door. So, I mean, we're losing structure in here also. She's all there, but just smoked, all of it. But, you know, T-tops are cool until they rust out your car. I think old Rusty was wearing the safety glasses because there was so much rust and debris blowing around going down the road. Probably a good idea. But I'm going to take it easy, I think. Just kind of cruise around the ranch for a minute here. Oh yeah, that's how you know your doors are in good shape. Man, I think the idle is getting better. The brakes are so bad. Like it's on the floor right there. She's got a bit of a low idle. Like no idle. Let's put her in neutral. Neutral will bring her around for a minute. And I have no idea how much gas is in it or the shape of it. Whoa, she's going. I mean, it's running. Oh, she's falling on her face right there. There's just like a random beep happening. No, not taking acceleration. Now it is. Holy crap! Wow. Feel like we're smoking. There's a lot. It's gotten cloudy looking inside here. Woo! got her on the two-step. Y'all didn't know that, huh? Woo! I mean, when she wants to go, she'll go. Wow. We're gonna have to pop the hood and see if like a hose is blown off or something, but we definitely got some smoke coming in. But it's not totally undrivable. It might just need to be driven a little, kind of come back to life. We gotta look and see if our fan ever came on. Well, it's idling high, that's for sure. If it had been a carb, she'd have dieseled. But I'm gonna check on this thing, see if I see anything going on, why it's gonna be smoky. Well, after reading lots of forums and people having the same type of drivability issues with these Grand Nationals, I am gonna try and drop the starter down a hair and replace the positive cable. It looks bad, and then I think I'm having fusible link issues because I did momentarily a little bit ago lose the fans. Then I lost all in-cab power, and then it came back. So I think the fusible links are on their way out. I can see the positive cable, it's really bad. And then, man, I don't even know if I can show on camera, but up here on the cylinder head, there's just these bundles of wires that are grounded on the back of the head, and everyone, from what I've seen, everyone has issues with those ground wires. There ain't no way, from what I can see, because the bolt almost touches the firewall. I don't know if that's the firewall or the AC box. I think it's the AC box. But still, firewall's right there too. There ain't no getting that out without a lot of work. So what I'm gonna do is reach back there, cut them all. I'm just gonna snip every one, reattach it to a good ground, and we're gonna call it a day. I don't know what they were thinking, because it looks like there's two bolt heads on the passenger side back of the head, and short of lifting the engine and transmission or something like that, I don't understand how you would service that. It is way up there, and I'd have to drop the crossover pipe, the headers, everything, just get everything out of the way to even start to get my hand up there, and then it's hitting the AC box. So I don't know, but I got about 3 or 4 inches here on the starter I can work with. Once I drop it down, I think that's enough to get the old wire out, wire in some new wiring on those fusible links, and then I'm going up with the wire cutters, and we're strutting and we're cutting, because I ain't messing around with that. That's just poor design, and I'll design something better that will take you about 2 seconds if you need to clean up the ground. All right, well, wish me luck, and hopefully this solves a lot of our drivability issues, because from what I see, like the the flashing check engine light, like a blinking check engine, the surging, the bogging, everything is computer related. It's a bad grounds. So I've upgraded a little bit of the grounds. Now I need to keep going. And then also the main power wire running to the ECM, it was just sitting on the inner fender well, spun together by hand. Someone had cut out, I think there was a fuse in line there. Someone just cut it out, spun it together by hand. So I will redo that also. Hopefully that fixes everything. I think we're getting on the right track at least.
Well, this might be a first. Didn't make it out of the driveway without the bumper falling off. Oh yeah, she's rusty.
Well, it's fixed for now. Hey, I'm sure that rust will hold really well. But now I know what them Regal boys talk about when they say putting it on the bumper. 'Cause that's exactly what happened. Drive this thing a little bit more now that the bumper's not dragging the ground. Well, it's a new day after our last test drive debacle. Called it a day. Let's start over fresh in the morning. So I loaded up both barrels of the parts cannon, and we're going ignition coils and ignition control module. So this has already been wired and bolted together. Then kept testing, not getting any current out of the alternator. So talked to Rusty, he said there's a good chance he fried it. So getting a new alternator, let's put out some voltage, and I'm gonna wire it up to where this thing's kind of like a one wire system, where as long as it's getting a 12 volts ignition source, that'll excite the alternator, make it charge. So I've gone through, cleaned up every vacuum line I can find. I need to tee in to the PCV system at some point for vacuum. If you guys can't see over here, oh, hit my knee off camera. See if I can turn the light on. Off camera, deleted on the Powermaster brakes. And we got boosted brakes, new master cylinder, everything's bled. You know, I try to keep this, you know, these videos pretty PG, and that's the real reason why I didn't film any of it. Man, if you have one of these cars, your Powermaster has failed, sell it. Sell it. I don't know, get rid of it. This took hours and hours. There's a plate, you know, behind the old Powermaster that you got to unbolt from the inside. Not easy to get to. Getting the brake pedal out of this car is a nightmare. There's no room, and it'd be easier if you just dropped the whole dash and the column and everything. But I'm terrified that if I touch any of that stuff, it's just gonna fall into a million pieces. So I just had to work around. And if you're doing this, you're gonna need to take the pedal out and drill you a hole somewhere between 1 inch to 1.5 inches below where the current pin is, because you're not gonna be lined up right. So you know, drop it down, drill yourself a 7/16 hole, and put you a cotter pin through that. That's what you're gonna pin your booster to and your pedal. So, need to dive on in after that. This was a nightmare, folks. Like, you have no idea. And I'm a fan of Derek with Vice Grip Garage. I always wondered why he tapped on that, you know, that Grand National. If you've never seen that video, it was pretty cool. He kept working, tried to work around the Powermaster, and then just tapped out. I know why. I know why he tapped, and I don't blame him at all. This is miserable, absolutely miserable. But let's go ahead, start dropping in the ignition control module and coil pack all in one, and we'll get that hooked up. hopefully we're starting to solve some of our drivability issues, but these old cars, you never know. Got a little more than a bit of a mess going on here. Apologize. All right. So let's see if I can stab this guy in here. Just want to make sure you get all your plug wires out of the way. Don't damage your harness there. Make sure you're not squeezing any of your plug wires. And we should be good. These are pretty nice, the coil packs, they're all labeled with the correct plug wire you gotta plug on. Not a fan of working on these 80s GM cars though. Well, I think it's kind of all American cars started switching over to metric, and man, it's just, you're back and forth the entire time. So 2 is middle. Oh, pretty positive engagement. That's a good sign. This guy is 4, I believe. 4. And then we gotta find 6. So our plug wires are pretty long, even though I did order them specifically for this car. So that's some of the goo there, if you can see it. It was coming out of the old ignition control module. All right, let's figure out where 1 is. 1 is the middle wire, then it goes outside. It's the longest. So 1's the farthest. That's 5. 3. Now we gotta grab 5. Then we got our last one, 3. And then we're gonna plug in our harness. And this does have a bolt also that you're gonna need to tighten up. Just wanna do this kind of gently, making sure you got everything pretty lined up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, finish tightening this guy down, swap the alternator on, and then I'm gonna clean the mass airflow sensor. And let's crank this thing up, see if we have any sort of different running characteristics, because I've heard these ignition modules and the coils can do the exact same thing I was experiencing with the bog off of idle. Car was idling great, bog off idle, black smoke, running rich. I mean, it could be a ton of things in these cars, but that's a good indication you have an ignition issue. And we have new wires, new plugs, so that points really to that thing. Or it could be the whole computer. Or it could just be the entire car needs to be set on fire. One or the other. So let's keep on moving. I'll pick up when I got everything a little bit more put together. Okay, let's try and start this mess. This will be cold start, new coils, ignition control module, and the alternator. I think I got everything clear. Still got power and a fuel pump. That's a good sign. Whoa, cranked right up. Is it possible this thing's already charging? Running the same. I think I gotta get a different excite wire over here. I don't think I have a full 12 volts. Okay, so I need to find a new 12 volt wire. I don't have enough. Not doing anything either. Idling a lot better. We've solved nothing. But does it have brakes? Is there one positive thing? Yep. They need to be bled. I'm gonna let it get hot, see how it acts. All right, I guess let's just give it a drive. Idle's way better. Doesn't bog out, and I actually have brakes. It's the whole accelerating thing that this car has issues with. Well, so far it's better. I mean, that's just like a little bit of throttle. But yeah, you can hear it chopping. Not wanting to go. What if I power through it? It's getting slower, dying more. Now it's coming back. Somehow I think it's actually worse. I could get it going pretty good before. We just put it on the floor, what happens? Oh, it eventually catches. Woo. Eventually, wide open, she goes. And now it's just like it's dead. It might have actually died. Yeah, it did. Oh no. No, that's just the fans. Do we do injectors or do I just call it a day? I'm gonna beat on the injector some, just see if that does anything to it. Any change at all. Is it gonna stay? Okay. Let's do a little cleanup. And we'll do a little tacking. It's definitely somebody's been here before. I can tell by their welding skills are about as good as mine. That's probably clean enough for what we're gonna be doing. I'm gonna go ahead and crawl under and zap it a couple times, and then we'll have a bumper again. Smoke's cleared. Ooh, she's still a little wobbly. Maybe I throw one more on her, but this side could be in bad shape too. Actually, that feels about like a, yeah, this side's sturdier. The movement's coming from that side. We're good. She's holding. Well, I was gonna take this thing to the dirt pit, see if I could bake up a few donuts, if I could get the boost going high enough, but I think the old rear main has gave up the ghost. Let's see here. Woo! We got a little bit of a puddle. So she's just a gusher in the rear of the motor here once it gets going. So not really safe to run it like that. I think this is where it ends, folks. This is where it ends, sadly. Well, sadly, this is where it ends, folks. We ain't going to no drag strip in this thing. It's got a lot of issues. I thought I could get it where it would at least drive a little bit better, just because it would eventually get into the boost and go, which it makes me think there's not a fuel volume problem. If it does have the volume to get up and go, it's something air related, probably related to the computer. There could be spark problems, but still computer controlled stuff. Lots of things that, man, it's not worth tackling on this car. If it was like a really nice Grand National, yeah, go through it all. This thing is like the worst Turbo-T I've ever seen with my own two eyes. And I'm sure if you guys go and watch Rusty's channel, he says the same thing. Like, it's awful, and it needs a lot. But bumper's welded on, and you know, maybe somebody with a Grand National needs a block or some sort of piece off this, or a set of unbroken T-tops, because we got those. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if someone would actually go through putting this thing back on the road. I don't know. It's kind of that far gone. I'm gonna go park it out on death row, and when the title comes in the mail, this thing's up for sale. So if anybody's interested, which you shouldn't be, unless you got a problem, you can shoot me an email. You can buy it, I promise. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode a little bit. It's a little different, messing with fuel injection stuff. Had high hopes. Hopes were totally dashed really quick. And now we're on to finishing the GTO. I got the exhaust for it and a few little odds and ends. I need to go pick up a hood. And then I got another project for a Will It Run, which I think is really cool, and it kind of plays in with another car that I have. So it's gonna kind of be 2 for 1. So you'll see, you know, when it runs and then what else I got. So it's gonna be a really cool build, and I think everyone will enjoy that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed me failing completely on this episode. And hopefully the next one will have more positive results. But, you know, you can't win them all. And that's just really how it goes, especially in the car world. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you could, like, comment, subscribe, any interaction with the channel helps a bunch. Tell me what you would have done, because I'm lost. I've thrown everything I was willing to throw at it without going any further. I know you could have done injectors. I still don't think the fuel pump had an issue. I know you could do crank sensor on these cars, but at this point, with the dumping oil the way it is, I was probably right to stop where I did. Oh, but you know, next time we'll do something better. But yeah, until you see me again, just go out, do something that makes you happy, but make sure you're doing it on full blast. I'll see y'all later. Oh, let's go park this turd. See if we got enough oil in the pan to get us to death row. I think we do. But at least we got brakes now. When you put it up on your trailer, you can stop. Ah!